Grab your VR headset and get ready because, let me tell you, this is going to be a big year for gaming in this format. Top 10 Best VR Games 2023. Number 10, Hellsweeper VR. If you liked Dark Souls, this game is for you. Developed by Mixed Realms and Vertigo Games, Hellsweeper VR puts you in the role of an undead immortal. Yeah, sounds a bit contradictory, doesn't it? But the point is that you'll have to go through hell. And to do so, you can use different weapons such as swords, axes, and more to eliminate any demonic aberration that gets in your way. Although, surely that won't be enough, so you'll also have access to elemental magic such as fire, ice, and lightning, with which you can cast incredible spells on your enemies, or power up your weapons for more powerful attacks. It's a first-person combat simulator that also lets you do impressive acrobatics and jumps as you fight. Great, right? When is it coming out? There's no exact date, but it's confirmed for the second quarter of 2023. What a great game to start this top! Number 9, Half-Life: Alyx. Even though this title was released in March 2020, it's still one of the best titles to play with a VR device. How could it not be? This is the latest we've had from the Half-Life saga, being a sequel to the first game and a prequel to the second. If you're a Half-Life fan, you probably already know that this is a sci-fi FPS, featuring a magnificent and rather mysterious story mode, where you'll have to get a hold of various weapons to eliminate the aliens that have invaded Earth. Will you manage to survive? Developed by Valve Corporation and Camposanto, this title has already been dubbed in up to 8 languages. I told you it was great. Everyone wants to play it, plus IGN rated it a 10 out of 10 and Metacritic gave it a 93%. So, if you have a VR headset and haven't played it yet, it's about time. Number 8, Firewall Ultra. When will this impressive title come out? There's no exact date, but apparently, it'll be released in the first months of 2023. Developed by First Contact Entertainment, Firewall Ultra will be an exclusive FPS for PlayStation VR 2. Here, you'll be able to play as a Splinter Cell-style mercenary, with whom you'll have to carry out missions of infiltration, hacking, assassination, and more. Everything depends on the contract you have at that moment. You'll be able to play the story mode solo, but there will also be multiplayer mode where you can face other players or carry out missions together. Perfect, right? The best part is that, when it comes to shooting, you'll have eye tracking support for maximum accuracy and reaction time. This, combined with the intuitive controls for shooting and weapon switching, offers an incredibly complete experience. Number 7, Behemoth. Just watching its trailer is enough to know that it'll be one of the best games coming out in 2023. Why isn't it higher in this top? Because we still know very little about it. Developed by Skydance Interactive, the same people who brought us an outstanding title like The Walking Dead, Saints and Sinner, Behemoth will be a survival game with first-person combat. What does this mean? That you'll be able to pick up weapons like swords, axes, and so on. But you must also watch out if you're thirsty, hungry, cold, or other basic needs, which won't be easy to cover because this world is frozen. It's like the other side of the wall in Game of Thrones. By the way, true to its name, you'll not only have to worry about human enemies and other creepy creatures, but also about the titanic behemoth, which you must face. Ready for this building-size challenge? Number 6, Grand Theft Auto: San Andreas VR. I have no doubt that you know this title because when it first came out in 2004, it caused such a sensation that it's already considered the sandbox and gang game par excellence. And if I'm talking about this game in 2023, it's because its VR adaptation is getting closer and closer. So promised Mark Zuckerberg when he said in 2021 that everyone could relive this great classic from a new perspective through the Oculus Quest 2. We're still waiting for news about this adaptation of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but it's rumored that it'll arrive in 2023 and that we could embody CJ, our beloved gangster, from a first-person perspective. This means you could experience all the missions, explore this open world, and everything else as if you were yourself. Interesting, isn't it? Before moving on, these are some VR games that are big fan favorites to this day and deserve a mention. So, take note of this segment. Bonus. Pistol Whip, Beat Saber, I Expect You to Die. Number 5, Assassin's Creed Nexus. This saga has accustomed us to the best stealth games of all time, but nothing like this one. Assassin's Creed Nexus, developed by Ubisoft, was first mentioned in 2020, but just like the plot of the Assassin's Creed games, everything was kept in the shadows until recent leaks. What we know so far is that you'll be able to do stunts and parkour from a first-person perspective, and that's not all, as you'll also have to pick locks, do stealth assassinations, fight, and of course, take the typical adrenaline-pumping leaps of faith. Whew, that could be scary. You won't control a single character, but will switch between several of your protagonists from previous installments to perform key missions in different eras. Awesome! When is it coming out? Unfortunately, all we know is that it'll be released sometime in 2023. Number 4. Star Wars Squadrons. This is a masterpiece that was released in October 2020 and remains one of the best VR games to date. Developed by Electronic Arts and Motive Studios, Star Wars Squadrons puts you in the boots of a fighter pilot. Will you join the Empire or the Republic? Chronologically, it takes place after the events of Return of the Jedi, during the last days of the Empire. In its story mode, you'll not only play as the good guys, but you'll also be part of the Empire's ranks, understanding their motives, problems, and much more, a side of the story that you don't see every day in Star Wars games. In addition, it also features multiplayer modes where you can face off in teams of 5 versus 5 or launch into a fleet battle, where your team will also have a colossal AI-controlled ship to support them. Impressive, isn't it? Number 3. Horizon Call of the Mountain. This top is getting better and better. If you're a fan of the Horizon saga, you must get this title as soon as possible. This masterpiece, developed by Guerrilla Games and PlayStation Studios, throws you into this post-apocalyptic world that shares a timeline with Horizon Zero Dawn. You'll embody Rias, a man, listen well, without enhanced capabilities, as the saga has accustomed us to. Even so, you'll have to carry out missions from a first-person perspective, confronting diverse mechanical beasts that want to destroy you. As I mentioned, there will be no help when it comes to aiming or discovering weak points, but you'll literally have to do everything by hand, even reloading your arrows. How realistic. Among other actions you'll have to do using the VR controls are swimming, climbing, using slopes to climb, and more. Horizon Call of the Mountain was released in February 2023 and is simply excellent. Number 2. Resident Evil Village. Ready to feel the terror in the flesh? Well, I'm not. Someone hug me! Resident Evil Village for VR is here, after being released in February 2023 as a DLC for its original version. If playing it as a first-person survival horror game was scary enough, now you'll have to get your hands even dirtier up close. Virtual reality makes everything more realistic. Not only will you have to aim before shooting any aberration or psychopath trying to kill you, but you'll also feel the panic of running out of ammo and reloading yourself in real time. Will you make it or get caught? You'll also have to use melee weapons, so you may need to practice your knife skills if you want to survive. Capcom is really taking this great title to another level, don't you think? What could be better than the VR adaptation of one of the best horror titles of recent years? Number 1. The Dark Pictures Switchback VR. This game is a nightmare. It arrived in March 2023 for PlayStation VR 2, and believe me when I tell you it's the most horrifying thing you'll experience this year. Have you ever ridden a haunted house roller coaster? Well, this title does pretty much the same thing, but it's all real and you must fight to survive. Developed by Supermassive Games, Switchback is a spin-off of the Dark Pictures anthology. So in this new installment, you'll have to go through scenarios based on the 4 previous games, all on a rail that takes you hopelessly before all sorts of specters and monsters. At least you can use some weapons, such as guns, but even so, you can't get distracted for a second. The slogan of this game is, "Don't blink," since enemies will appear from anywhere and an oversight could cost you your life. Of course, although you'll be on a rail, at certain points you can choose between following one path or another, so all your journeys will be unique, which means that something horrible will always catch you off guard. What did you think of these great games? Which one would you like to try right now? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit like and subscribe to my channel. That way you help me to make more content like this.